All right, well, let's just talk about the recent run. I know it hasn't been a lot of fun for you. 1-3 in the last 4 fights, 3 split decisions though. Uh, what's that been like for you mentally, just kind of going through those fights?
Man, like in another dimension, I could be like fighting for a world title or something. You know, you could see like Eddie Alvarez, I think, won like 2 or 3 split decisions, and on that right night, he showed up and he won clear cut decision. So it's one of those weird things. Like I can't let it go to the judges, you know. And I always keep saying that, but you know, sometimes you hurt a guy and he starts moving, or you get overexcited, you get taken down. It's a fight. It's always a lot easier to do than a lot easier to say than do, you know.
You've been doing this game for a long time, but I wonder when you have those kind of results, do you sit back and think, man, do I got to rethink the way I'm approaching these fights, or how I'm doing it? Do I got to play to the judges a little bit? What is it I have to do? So how's that been?
Me and my cornerman were talking about maybe I could get like highlights and contacts and look like I'm part of a boy band that might help out with decisions, I think, with the judges, and start taking more selfies as far as like the judges go, you know. As far as fighting goes, I just need to put more output out there, is what we talked about, and that's what I look to do, you know. Just hurt somebody and just keep hurting them, you know.
Yeah. Out of those 3 fights, are there any of them that you look back in particular that, like, I know I won that fight? Because they were close. I mean, they were close fights. But are there any of them that you look back and go, there's no way I lost that fight?
I feel like that about all of them, obviously. I feel like I won them all, but the Al fight was just weird to me because I felt like if you think I dropped him once in the first round, it's really I dropped him twice because they were both the same thing. I hit him with a shot and he took a shot. Both times was the same sequence, so it's kind of hard to like. I didn't get dropped, I didn't get taken down. I don't know what it was, you know. And I threw more strikes and I landed more strikes. In the Ben Henderson fight, what I was told in the because I talked to a couple of judges and referees in the Al fight is that I was going back and moving laterally a lot. So like you should have been imposing your will going forward more. So all I did in the Ben Henderson fight, from the moment that bell rung till it ended, was me going forward and going forward. I got pressed up against the cage for a couple, like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, but right after that, I would always come forward throwing the strikes. So that fight was one that when I was in the decision, I was like, all I did was go forward. I got this for sure. And it wasn't, you know, so it's weird for me, you know.
Yeah. It's funny because when I watch your fights, that's the one thing I would say if I had a criticism. I'd say, man, if he would just pick up the volume a little bit, I think it would leave a little bit. So what is that? I mean, do you now think it's just all about volume? Because you said you heard it was moving forward. Now do you think it's just all about volume, or is it about hurting, stay on? What do you think?
I don't know, man. I wish there'd be a more clear-cut answer to that. If, like, right now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and how hard would it be for Dana White to schedule the fighters to have a meeting with the judges and the judges to stand up and say, I'm the type of judge that I look for this. If you're taking a guy down and you're holding him down, in my book, you're winning. Even if you got punched and soccer kicked in the face like 5 times, you're winning. And then the next judge stood up and said, I'm the type of guy that if you're going backward landing strikes, fighting like Mayweather, I will actually appreciate that. You know, how hard would that be? You know, just for us to get a perspective of like, man, maybe I got to change my whole game plan up and fight this guy different. Some judges just care for you to hold the guy up against the cage and not do anything. And then when there is separation, you get hit a couple times in the face. It doesn't matter because you came forward, press him up against the cage. Some judges give it to you like that. Look at the Aldo and Frankie fight. I thought Aldo won. But there's a lot of people that thought Frankie won just because he came forward the whole time. You know, and if it would have been somewhere else other than Vegas, Frankie probably could have got the nod, you know. Like if it would have been in Florida where they only care that you go forward, I'm sure Frankie would have got the nod, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Talk about being at welterweight now. I mean, obviously you're getting to fight a little bit more frequently. Is life better for you? What's it like not having to make it down to 155?
Life is way better for me, you know. In all aspects. I mean, I was losing so much hair, just like a simple thing like that. I was losing so much hair at lightweight, you know. I'd wake up and my pillow would be full of hair because I was depleting my body so much on the regular. The amount of miles that I was running on the daily, it's different. I feel great now, and I want to get my hand raised really bad so I could step right back in there in another 5-6 weeks and compete again. Try to finish out this year with another 3 to 4 fights, you know.
Another 3 to 4 fights this year.
Since I got in the start of this sport, I always thought about it like, if I'm not injured, why can't you just keep competing? People got a mindset that 4 fights is the most you could do. If you feel good and fighting is your thing, then you should be able to fight, you know. I don't like having to train for 3 months and fight once. I want to be able to compete and just keep competing until my body says you can't no more, you know.
Nice. Talk about this matchup. I mean, obviously it changed on you a little bit, but when you look at Ross, is this the type of fight that you're excited about? I mean, does he seem like the type of opponent that is going to stand and trade with you?
Oh, as far as like stylistically, yeah, he doesn't have a ranking. He's not the guy, the name that I was looking for, but he's got a good style. He's gonna come forward and get cracked in the face, you know. It's gonna be fun, you know. He's not gonna take me down, hold me down, nothing like that, you know. So it's gonna be a good fight.
you mentioned in an alternate universe you could be fighting for a world title. Is there any pressure here? Because I mean, it seems so weird to think. I mean, as long as you've been around this game, as long as you can compete at the highest level, but you know the UFC's cutthroat sometimes. I mean, is there any pressure like I have to win this fight?
Oh no, I have to win this fight. I'm coming off 2 losses. No matter how it is, whether the whole universe thinks that I won those fights and just those judges think that I didn't. I know I need to win these fights. You know, every fight to me is like that I need to win this fight. But especially in this fight, coming off 2 losses, I've never in my career had 2 losses. This is the first time ever that I have 2 losses. So I'm not up against a wall. I'm like in the wall right now, you know?